politic. You have to be in their faces. You have to introduce yourself as an artist first and foremost. Let them know who you are. If they feel you as a person, they feel a little bit more obligated to play your records if they have a personal relationship with you. Just surround yourself with good people. Like, luckily, I've been surrounded by a good team of people with Hustle and John Monopoly and Happy and all those guys, like Don C. All those people, like they're pretty prominent in this city, so they know most of the DJs, and they made connections for me. And kind of the groundwork was laid for me, and so once I came with a hot enough record, it was gonna get spun. So I was kind of in a unique situation, but anybody can get played on the air if your song is hot enough and you do the due diligence to really be out in the streets. Like, you can't sit at home. You can't just be listening to your demo in your car and at the crib. Like, you really have to be in the streets. Like, you really got to pound the pavement. You really have to be hustling, like, every day. Because you got people with major labels and big budgets who aren't getting spun on the radio. So how can you expect you to get spun as an independent artist with no financial backing if you aren't really out there? Because it's not just enough to have talent. Like, people have to really know you and respect you and like what you do. No, I mean, for real, like, I get approached by so many people with demos that it's ridiculous, and it's like, I don't know these program directors to the point where I can just make them play a record. Like, there's no formula to it. But if you have a hot song is a hot song, and it's gonna spread. But at the same time, it's almost like that saying about the tree falling in the woods. Like, if nobody saw it, then it didn't happen. That's really what a hot song is. If there's no ears to it, if it's just you and your homeboys in the crib and y'all, this joint is hot, that's not good enough. You know what I mean? Like, you really have to do the work and get it out there, get it played in the clubs. That's first and foremost, because the club needs to radio. The streets gotta feel it. Once the streets feel it, it's easy to you have leverage. I think Chicago just has a mentality in general. It's not just music. I think in general we don't like to see people come up, just because normally when people come up, they don't look to bring others with them, or if they do it, they might not necessarily look back. It's just kind of like, I'm doing me and I just want to sustain my position. And I think the problem really with Chicago is there's no labels. Like, you can name a lot of Chicago rappers, you can name a lot of Chicago singers, but can you really name a Chicago label? Can you name like some A&Rs that live here? Can you name like a door that you can actually go and knock on in Chicago and mobilize? Because Houston, you have Swisher House. That's how they sell records. Like, they had their own labels before they got distribution deals. You know what I'm saying? The same with Atlanta. I mean, like, a lot of those labels that are down there, they got bought out. Even when New Orleans got big, they created their own vehicles to sell records, and then the bigger parent labels bought them out to distribute them. And we don't have that here. There's no labels in Chicago. That's the problem. I mean, like, until that happens, we'll just have a lot of artists that are scrambling to get on with other people. And it's just like, when those 1 or 2 people get on, they just trying to stay on, and they're not really trying, they can't really bring everybody else up. So we need to become a little bit more versatile in what we're doing and just respect what everybody's doing. I don't think enough people realize that if we come together, obviously somebody's going to make more money than the next person, but I'd rather have 8 artists on and they're all eating than everybody fighting for this one top spot. And that's kind of what happens in Chicago. It's just like, okay, this dude is on top, he ain't even that good, I could do it better than him. Instead of saying, well, yo, I'm glad dude made it, now I'm going to try to make it so I can be there with him, and then we mobilize, we can do things together. Because there's money to be made when you mobilize. When you do things separately, I mean, you can only give it so far. Like, there's no balance, there's no diversity. Everything is the same, and that's the problem. If you looked at hip-hop music maybe 10 years ago, there were a lot of artists on major labels that had outlets to be on BET, MTV, to sell major records and major units, and people were getting plaques from all different types of regions, different genres of the art form. And now you kind of have one region that's become very popular in creating a formula to make hit songs, and now you have like everybody else kind of jumping on that bandwagon and trying to create just because that's what's hot for the moment instead of doing them and just creating balance. Because there's still the same amount of dope artists, they're just not all getting the same amount of shine. And that's due to the suits, the suit and ties. I mean, that's why artists need to own labels, artists need to be in the offices and doing what Jay-Z's doing what some of the other people do, you know, as far as like taking ownership. I mean, that's why Houston has, you know, they've held their own for so many years with their screw music, because they have independent labels and they make sure that they saturate their market and nobody else is going to do anything there. The Bay Area is the same way, Atlanta's the same way, Florida's getting to that point, DC with the, you know, the whole go-go thing, like, they have their own culture and their own conventions that they like to hear, and that's kind of what you got to do to make sure you stay relevant. Yeah, I mean, I think as times change, approaches have to change, meaning that you can't expect to sell as many records as you could before, but now you have ringtones, now you have downloads. There's different ways to make money off of your music and off of your craft. Licensing, all the marketing, cross-marketing opportunities that there are with this music, and even with everything, it's a lifestyle, clothing, you know what I'm saying, shoes. Everything is hip hop now, so it's like there's so many avenues. We're doing movies now, there's TV shows, there's even cartoons based around hip hop. Like, we're permeating media in general, and the only way to really regulate the internet as far as with music is for like a federal government mandate to come out, you know, governing the internet just as a whole. And the problem is that, you know, the internet is worldwide, so it would take a lot of countries to come together and say, well, this is how we're gonna make these federal regulations for the internet. But I don't see that happening anytime soon. So at the end of the day, I don't think it's about fixing it more so than it is adjusting and adapting to the times. You know, 'cause how we sold records 10 years ago is not how we're gonna sell records 10 years from now. You know, some of the stuff that seems like so modern and cutting edge, next year is gonna seem like outdated and whack. You know what I'm saying?